Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Marbach. At Georgian Court University, we're committed to educating the public about the importance of higher education and its impact on our communities. That's why we're proud to support the important educational programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato in your neighborhood Long Branch has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, the Russell Berry Foundation, Hackensack Meridian Health, Georgian Court University, NJM Insurance Group, and by New Jersey Resources. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and by Observer New Jersey Politics.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
I don't care how good you are or how good you think you are, there is always something to learn.
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Hi, I'm Steve Adubato for this very special edition of NJTV's In Your Neighborhood series. In this one, we look at the iconic Jersey Shore town of Long Branch. Long Branch has seen some very tough times, but today there are some great things going on in the Shore community. Tonight, you'll see some of these special things, special places, but most importantly, some very special people making a big difference. We're in your neighborhood, Long Branch. Robert Clark, who is director of bands at Long Branch High School. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
This is part of our series we're doing in cooperation with the New Jersey Education Association. Classroom Close-Up, a great series on NJTV, right?
Wonderful.
In about a minute, we're going to be seeing a video of you doing something with smart music?
Smart music, yes.
What is it all about?
Well, it's the classroom is changing, and we have to keep up with the changes. So technologically, smart music is an online tool where we use it to kind of gauge the students' progress. They have method books that we used to have to go to the music store and buy them. Now they're all online. And a student can kind of play into the computer. They can play it back. They can maintain it online as a portfolio of their accomplishments. Tells them which notes they're getting right, which notes they're getting wrong. They could send it to me. I use it as an instructional tool. And I'd say about half of my music library is also on smart music. So anything I assign for the band to play, they can access it and use it as a rehearsal.
It's exciting.
Tool. It's great.
You ready to see this video?
I'd love to.
It helps tell the story from Classroom Close-Up?
Yes.
Let's take a look at the video.
Art education is important. The music education is ridiculously important. The students can succeed because they feel secure here. They feel secure enough to experiment, to fail, and they have enough pride to want to get better.
For Robert Clark, helping his band students get better is a top priority.
Be careful with your anvil part. You have to listen back so that you line up with the quarter note triplet.
Okay.
As director of bands at Long Branch High School, Mr. Clark rehearses with the marching band both on and off the field.
Let me change that.
He's also using some interesting technology during rehearsals.
Okay, moving through. Here we go. She held it till the end. It's you with
The software they're using is called Smart Music.
Okay. With Smart Music, there is immediate feedback. When a student is looking at the screen and a note shows up green because they played it correctly or red because they didn't, that's immediate. But there's other benefits. The fact that they could use Smart Music as a practice tool and slow it down if it's technically difficult, that's a really good thing.
With Smart Music, you always have the specific tempo that you have to go off of. So there's no way of us getting off of tempo, and it makes it easier to learn our skills.
Okay, so now here's guard staggering out.
Robert also uses computer technology to help the marching band develop and practice their routines.
With the group, we were just going over one of the videos of Pieware. What you do is you input their show, and there's a computer-generated depiction of what they're supposed to be doing on the field.
The software does help. It helps when it comes time for how to get from one spot to another, like for motion, because we can't get that from the pictures. So like, using the software, you can see, okay, they took this route or a certain path to get to your spot.
Highware for marching band charts. If you're ever really stuck on a chart or you just can't seem to remember them, you could just, watch that video over and over again and, just watch how the charts go into each other, watch your individual dot.
In practice this week on Wednesday, we have to make sure that we have a strategy to develop the arch here. Tools like Smart Music have been incredible, and using a program in marching band like Pieware, where I could actually give the kids a vocabulary test to see if they understand the language or the latitude and longitude coordinate sheet. That's a change, but I think one of the things it's done is it validated arts as an important part of the music curriculum. Okay, cool. Let's do song 2.
It's fascinating stuff.
It's good stuff.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been a public school teacher for 28 years.
Still passionate?
Still passionate.
Why?
Because there's so much out there now. It's an exciting time. I was always excited about being a band director, but I don't think folks understood what we did. And now that kind of education has become a data-driven world, things like Smart Music help me amass data, and it's great when I could walk into somebody without an arts background and show them graphs and pie charts of accomplishment and growth and maintain these online portfolios. It's wonderful.
Who are the students, Bob, who actually, I don't know, I want to ask it this way. Is there a typical student who joins the band?
I don't know if there's a typical student. I know
what kinds of students join the band?
Kinds of students join band who are the kids who want a challenge. I think that a lot of the bright kids just migrate towards challenging activities, and band students are the ones who show up early. They show up prepared, and that's kind of all the lessons that are inherent in a band class.
Are they a family?
Very much so.
They're really a family?
They're really
How
a family.
So?
No real learning can take place, I believe, without a strong relationship. And with a lot of these students, I meet them when they're in middle school because I go down and bring them along. I'm lucky enough to be in a school district that finances a summer arts program, so I teach them through the summer.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal, and I have a 4 to 5 year relationship with these students and their families, so it is a family.
How supportive are they of each other in terms of the relationships they build?
Just like a family. We celebrate each other's successes and the little bumps in the road we have to handle as well. And it's good because in a band class, the leadership is inherent. Kids kind of come up, the freshmen kind of learn what to do, and then you start to see the shoes open up and they have to fill the shoes of those who have moved on. And it's really a good system.
Well, I'm curious about this. How do you believe, or how do you think that young people, the young leaders, because they are, who are in band, are seen by most other kids, most other students in school? And has that changed?
No, it hasn't changed in my school. I think it's the culture of the school. Are
they respected in your school?
Very much so.
They're respected, revered. Hey, those kids are in band. That's a good thing. It's a great thing.
It has always been that way at Long Branch High School. The arts successes are celebrated with the academic and sports successes equally. And it's great.
And let me ask you this, the technology and the fact that you're teaching more and more with this technology, is it making being in band even more interesting?
I think it makes band more accessible.
Accessible?
Smart Music. Long Branch is a high needs district. I think right now in my band program, I have 1 student who's studying privately. So the fact that I have this and I have after school time where they come in and I could put them on a programmed method book outside of the curriculum, outside of the course. They could come in and they could gauge their own progress, and I could come in and facilitate that. And without the technology, I really didn't have that option before.
I'm curious about this. You talked about natural leadership within band, so I want to ask you this. The most significant lesson you've learned about leadership being the band director, for how many years again?
At the high school, this is my 18th.
Most significant lesson you've learned about leadership is, particularly among young people?
is to really be forgiving. Be forgiving. And leadership, because they come to you with all different problems. And you have to let them work through some of those problems so that they could realize their own potential. And I think as long as you create the culture where they could fail a little bit and then build up confidence, they could assume leadership roles.
Last question. Public school teachers, the thing you're most proud of in terms of being part of this group of professionals is?
And that we offer what we're supposed to be offering, a free and public education. And I teach with some of the strongest people and educators, especially in a high needs district, that you could ever meet.
Still love what you do?
Absolutely.
How many years again you've been doing it?
28.
Robert Clark, one of the great public school educators in our state and nation, director of bands, Long Branch High School. Thank you so much, Bob.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this. Thanks, Bob.
To watch more One-on-One with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
All right, check this out. This is Edrick Alleyene, who is from Eatontown, New Jersey. And it's interesting. A lot of people here, Edrick, run organizations, not-for-profits. They're recognized by the Russ Berry Making a Difference Award Committee. Your story is a little bit different. You're down at the Jersey Shore. Tell us what happens.
Down at the Jersey Shore, Friday night, take the kids to the park. Usually we get dinner, go for ice cream at the lighthouse, hanging out at the park. Somebody ran up, a guy ran up, said, my nephew.
It's in the ocean.
Yes, absolutely, nephew in the ocean. And we're thinking it's, a little kid because you only can see the person's head. So I run down to the beach. It's about maybe like 15 people down there, and he's floating out. He's going out further and further and further. So at first I tried to jump in, and then I got hit by the wave. Then I said to myself, I seen the current, and I seen how like it was a rip current. You can see I was pulling him, and he was ducking the waves. So I went in. I got hit with the wave. Then I followed him because he was drifting. As he was drifting, I followed him, and then I told him ride the wave because he was about maybe like 60 yards out.
Did he hear you?
Yeah, because I was screaming. I was like at the top.
You were alone. You're the only one who went in. I just want to be clear. You're the only one who went in.
Yes, only person that went in. And then I told him to ride the waves because he was ducking them because he was exhausted, so he didn't know what to do. And I told him, no, ride the waves. He got about 30, 35 yards in, and then I ran out. I went in and I grabbed him because he couldn't swim anymore or anything like that. Went in, grabbed him, put him on my hip, put my arm around him, and then I started to ride the waves in and swim with the one arm that I had and brought him to the shore.
Couple things. First, by the way, you got out of there. You didn't get a chance to really connect with him after, from what I hear. But the first question is, why did you go in when many, and I don't know what I would have done, I don't know what you would have done, why did you jump in?
I mean, it's a sign from God. Sometimes he just tells you to do things and you do it. There was I seen him, nobody else went to go in the water, so I went in the water. And I knew I had to do something because at the end of the day, if my son or if a family member of mine who's out there in the ocean and they can't get back to the shore, I want somebody to go out there and hopefully help them out or figure out a way to get that person back to the shoreline.
You saved his life. When did you hook up with him later, connect with him?
Actually, an article was put out in the Asbury Park Press looking for me because I was more concerned. I saved them, and then I was like, the kids gotta eat. The kids gotta eat.
Your kid?
Yeah, I got the kids gotta get the pizza. We gotta get home. They gotta go to bed.
Talk about multitasking.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
So the guy doesn't know you. You don't know the guy. They don't even know it was you.
Yeah, absolutely. So an article was put out in the Asbury Park Press. I believe it's like front page, and as I'm going through the day, my girlfriend, she contacts me. She says, he's looking for you. And I'm like, who's looking for me? I'm like, what did I do? She's like, he's looking for you, the guy you saved. And then, he had an email address, contacting him, and then that's how we got together, and we met each other and spoke, and he thanked me.
What was it like?
At the end of the day, you just realize that you're here for a bigger purpose. And that was my bigger purpose, and I realized that. And you look at life at a totally different manner and perspective.
You didn't do it to get an award, but you're being recognized today by the Russ Berry Foundation. What does it mean to you?
I mean, it's a lot. It's humbling. It's humbling. I just want people to know, first of all, watch out. Do not go in that ocean, especially when there's no lifeguards or things like that. But to me, it's just, that we just have to help each other. no matter race, religion, color, doesn't matter anything of that nature. We must help each other when we need each other.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're here with one of our Raspberry Making a Difference awardees. The event has ended, so you already know what a winner you are. This is Carla Scarabino from Monmouth Beach. She created an organization called the Beauty Foundation for Cancer Care, which is?
We alleviate the burdens that a family faces when they're undergoing cancer treatment. So we actually provide monetary grants, grocery gift cards, meals, things that hopefully will help a family when someone in their family is facing cancer.
Why did you choose to do this?
Back in 2008, I think it was probably more because of my age. A few friends, family members were being diagnosed with cancer. And I just couldn't even imagine how they could even get out of bed in the morning, let alone clean their home, provide meals for their family, take care of children. We originally started just giving grants to women undergoing cancer treatment. And we soon found that when anyone in the family is sick, the entire family is undergoing so much stress. And we thought that if we could just ease that little burden, we might be able to help those people just focus on getting better. So we immediately changed our mission, and we help anyone facing any type of cancer treatment.
How rewarding is it?
Oh gosh, it is immensely rewarding, and it is on both a daily basis, a yearly basis. We have been doing this now for over 10 years, and I think because we give directly to people, they come back and say thank you. And we actually meet them, we meet their families, we hear their stories. The good news is when they get better, and they come back and they volunteer and they support us, and that's amazing. So that's the reward.
You know, it's interesting. I've been asking everyone who has been part of this special, this Making a Difference special, what it's like to be around others who are recognized today, the other winners, the past honorees as well as those who recognize today. Pretty awesome, huh?
Yes, I was speaking to one of the other winners, and we both looked at each other and we said, before I got up here, I thought, could this be a mistake? Because you just hear the stories, and you actually can't believe the work that's done. I mean, it's amazing.
What about that 11-year-old kid?
My gosh. But to come from, tragedy, but to be able to turn that around, that I find so impressive. To be able to do that, you don't have to do it, but you do it, and you want to do it.
Yeah, it's interesting, as Carla's talking about this, as you watch this special we're doing. I mean, Ethan loses his mom. He's 2 years old. And at some point, decides he wants to make a difference in the lives of others. They're parents who lost a child, a son, a teenage son to suicide. People have experienced tragedy, and they choose to turn it into making a difference for others. It is humbling.
It's unbelievably humbling, but it does give me a lot of hope in humanity, because I think that, if you turn on the news or open up a newspaper, sometimes you get frustrated.
We don't see a lot of stories like this, do we?
Not enough. Not enough. So kids like him are going to change the future.
To watch more One-on-One with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
We are pleased to welcome two very special guests, Maria McKeon, Vice President of Mary's Place by the Sea, and her colleague, Michele Gannon, President of Mary's Place by the Sea. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Mary's Place by the Sea is?
It's a cancer center for women who are in treatment or up to 1 year post-treatment.
Created in 2009 because?
We saw there was a need. Michele was sick with a flu and saw me at the gym and said, I had this idea, Maria, do you want to join me? And I said, yes, I'm with you. And it was to help people with a terminal illness get away from it all. And we really started to create this mission based on a conversation with each other about when a woman has a life-threatening disease or any kind of experience that they need help, and cancer being one of those things that we thought of, their house, their laundry list, they're always doing everything, and to take a step away and to really heal themselves from this experience. And that's really how we started to create this mission, really just with each other kind of brainstorming, and the puzzles of the piece of the puzzle started really coming and forging together.
You know, we have some friends who have actually been there. and spent some time there, and they talk beyond the services about the love and support and the empathy and compassion. Talk about some of the actual help that is provided.
All of the services were actually created because of sitting with the guests and asking them, where are their gaps? Where do you need support? What can we do? And we found resoundingly that it was the emotional support that they needed. So we started with Oncology Massage because that's a service that quiets them. We take them into the massage room. We have licensed practitioners who just give them a moment to, sometimes that's the first massage they've ever received, but what it does is it connects them back to their body. And then we
What do
go,
you mean by that?
Because through the medication, through the diagnosis, we have found that once diagnosed, sometimes it's outside of. It's a diagnosis, it's a screen, it's a stage, it's a cell, and you're forgetting the soul, the person it's attached to. And so what we do is we connect that person again and let them really feel. It is an emotional journey, one that must be taken, and that's taken with over 100 different volunteers. Many of them are survivors or thrivers, as they like to say, and they can sit with our guests and say, I have been down that road. I have taken that med. I have felt that way. Yes, it caused strain on my marriage. My children were suffering as well. And the emotional connection that starts to happen is where the healing begins.
And you've expanded. I mean, tell folks as we put up the site and your also Twitter information, I want people to understand the work you're doing, but also you've expanded.
Yes.
We have.
Describe it.
A beautiful home, a 10-bedroom home with their own bathrooms. We started out in a B&B, and that was just a 5-bedroom home that we rented. And then we moved to another facility that was as well a private residence, 5 bedrooms. But we saw the need and a wait list of guests that we needed to have. Yes, we are booked until January. And we needed handicap accessibility, and we needed a location, a larger kitchen. We needed a sanctuary that we could have different type of programming for us. And we like to encourage, journaling and guided imagery and different practices that we felt that would be beneficial to a person. And of course, the ocean. So
by the sea.
By the sea.
That matters.
Yes.
It's healing.
It is.
By the way, the support you've gotten. John Bon Jovi.
Incredible.
Why?
What it is because for people to pick up the phone and say, we are recognizing what you're doing, and we want you to keep going. And we know you might need a little hand up. And that is what has been happening for the past 7 years. When Maria and I started the mission, we did not know where the next dollar was going to come from. But we just kept going. We kept driving forward because the women made us realize we need this. It might be a simple idea, but it is definitely serving them, and it's making an impact on their treatment, on their recovery, or for the women who don't recover, it helps them transition before they pass. We've seen so many women come through our doors, and I think that is what motivates us every single day. So we have dignity, and we are humble about it, but at the same time, we know that every dollar that comes there is going right back to these women, and they're grateful.
And the name of the name.
Right.
Where's it come from?
It comes from the Blessed Mother. And we have to say, from the very beginning, people said, are you a religious organization? We said, we're non-denominational. But for us, Mary is a woman who she's humble, she's joyful, she had trust, but most of all, she loved. And that is the foundation of our mission, is to just love. We love women unconditionally. We don't judge them. Wherever they are, we meet them, and we say, you may not be able to walk through here, but we will carry you until you can. And that is what we do each and every day.
So it's 7 years, it'll be going on 8. What has this done for you?
Every morning I wake up grateful. Put my feet on the floor a little differently. I teach yoga, and fitness has been a part of my life, and wellness, and I don't take my health for granted. I try to instill everything and live each day like it's, not that it's like my last, but that it makes a difference. And this mission has changed the 4 children, the husband I have. I know it's changed Michele, it's changed those people that support the community as volunteers. It's made Ocean Grove, really I think, a better place. It is a healing mecca, and it is a community that's rallied and to support these women, because not only do we support the women, but we help those men, the caretakers.
It's changed your relationship?
Absolutely. And we couldn't do it without each other. And we have two very strong personalities, softer, harder here, and we work well together to make it happen each and every day. There are days that one of us may be more emotional than the other. Maybe we connect with a guest who we've lost, or maybe the situation in the dining room is just a bit too intense, and one will back up, the other one will go forward, and we seem to really be a great team.
You're an extraordinary team. You're very special women, and Mary's Place by the Sea is a godsend. The only place like this in the nation. Michele and Maria, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato in your neighborhood Long Branch has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, the Russell Berry Foundation, Hackensack Meridian Health, Georgian Court University, NJM Insurance Group, and by New Jersey Resources. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
NJM Insurance Company has been serving New Jersey policyholders for more than 100 years. But just who are NJM's policyholders? They're the men and women who teach our children, the public sector employees who maintain our infrastructure, the workers who craft our manufactured goods, and New Jersey's next generation of leaders, the people who make our state a great place to call home. NJM, we've got New Jersey covered.